Action for Development, ACFOD, is a national women's rights organization founded on November 19, 1985. ACFOD is participating in a campaign titled 20 Reasons Why, 20 Voices in commemoration of 20 years of the Maputo Protocol. The campaign involves capturing the voices and opinion of academicians, the private sector, and civil society actors on the different articles of the protocol. Hopefully, this will trigger meaningful discussions on the protocol and its domestication as the conversations focus on raising wider awareness, continental media campaigns about the Maputo Protocol, and the status of its implementation in the country. With the current situation, has access to education really addressed the gender inequality? And how can the introduction of the new curriculum benefit the young girls in Uganda?
Access to education for girls' education has not been easy from the time we got independence. Culturally, girls in Uganda have been known to be mothers, and when we are training girls, actually, we have that in mind. So culture has always been a problem, but going forward, a lot has been done by the government and stakeholders to ensure that girls access education. One of them is through policy development and implementation. Among other policies, we have Education for All policy, and this has brought many girls on board. UPE, Universal Primary Education, has really supported the girl child because with the introduction of UPE, very many girls, statistically, it is on record that relatively equal numbers of girls and boys are completing P7. They are enrolling, but at the same time completing. Around the new curriculum, actually cross-cutting issues have been addressed in the lower secondary curriculum. They've made sure that the content and the illustrations in the curriculum represent both boys and girls. Yes, and the content is competence-based. It is trying to empower everyone skill-wise so that even if they dropped out of school, they're able to do something to sustain themselves. So the curriculum is a good one. It is tailor-made, fitting the culture of Uganda, ensuring that girls are really empowered. And not only girls, also boys, because an empowered girl needs an empowered boy. So gender equality issues have been addressed in this curriculum.
With more recent challenges of teen pregnancy and digital division, how can the gender gap be reduced?
We've had issues of teenage pregnancies for a long time, but we appreciate that currently girls are allowed to go to school even when they are pregnant. At a certain time, they leave school and afterwards they come back. So there is still that challenge because even if they came back, still there is no conducive environment for the mother, for this young mother to take care of the child. This is a child taking care of a progeny. So she requires a conducive environment for breastfeeding, and those environments are not provided by schools. Then menstrual hygiene, we don't have adequate sanitation facilities in schools, which are gender sensitive. We've seen schools with only 2 toilets, which are even shared with staff members. In as far as girls' education is concerned, retention levels have also gone high, much as we haven't reached where we want, but there is high level of retention and completion of schools of a certain level. But as they go higher from primary to secondary, we've always had a reduction in enrollment into secondary, completion of secondary school, and also university level. So we've had an impact in as far as enrollment, but majorly at a lower level, primary level. Then also enrollment into TVET institutions. So just empowering communities like we've been doing, empowering communities so that they supplement on the fees that the government is providing. You hear that UPE is free, but it is not free. Secondary education is free, it is not free. So there is need to support, but this support should come from households now. Because the government has done its part, has provided capitation grants, it may not be able to provide 100% support. So these communities need to be empowered so that we have very few people below the poverty line, and then they are able also to support their children in school. probably provide a meal, because some are dropping out due to lack of meals.
The Maputo Protocol is the most comprehensive treaty on the rights of women and girls in Africa, with 14 articles that identify with the promotion of women's and girls' rights. For over 2 decades now, the Solidarity for African Women's Rights, SOA, a coalition of over 80 civil society organizations working across 33 countries, has ensured that the rights of women in Africa are upheld as articulated by the protocol to the African Charter called